Just hearing the name Arham Chaudhry was enough to stir a strange mix of awe and envy within Dhaka's elite society. Towering skyscrapers, fleets of luxury cars, and mountains of money in his bank accounts. None of these were new to him. But what truly set him apart was not inheritance alone. He had taken his late father's vast business empire and multiplied it several times over in a very short span of time. Yet, as his wealth grew, the man inside him seemed to sink lower and lower. Arrogance, pride, and a disturbing habit of seeing people as less than human slowly fused into his character. To Arham, money was everything. Those who had it deserved respect. Those who didn't were nothing more than insects meant to be crushed underfoot. His mornings began with sips of expensive Italian coffee. His nights ended in glittering parties inside five-star hotels. The way he spoke, the way he walked, even the way he looked at people. Everything about him carried a sharp edge of superiority. In his office, employees feared him like death itself. A single mistake was enough to invite ruthless humiliation. His wife Nafisa, a beautiful and refined woman, slowly faded day by day under the weight of his cruelty. Their only son, Aryan, drifted emotionally far away from him, unable to endure his father's arrogance and obsession with money. But Arham didn't care. He truly believed money could buy everything: respect, love, even happiness. One winter morning, Arham drove his brand new Rolls-Royce toward Gulshan for an important business meeting. Through the glass window, the fog-covered streets felt strangely pleasing to him. Suddenly, at a traffic signal, his car came to a stop. That was when he noticed a frail old beggar. Wrapped in torn, filthy cloth, the man was shivering in the cold. His messy white beard, sunken eyes, and skeletal body spoke of long days without food. With desperate hope, he stared into each passing car window, praying for help. The beggar approached Arham's window and gently knocked. Arham pretended not to notice and turned away. But the beggar was persistent. He knocked again. Arham's temper snapped. He lowered the window slightly and barked, "What do you want? Can't you see I'm busy? Have you come to ruin my morning?" Shivering, the old man folded his hands and whispered, "Sir, I haven't eaten for 2 days. My stomach is burning with hunger. For God's sake, please help me." Before he could even finish, Arham burst into loud laughter, a cruel, devilish laugh filled with humiliation. He pulled out a 1,000 taka note from his money clip, waved it in front of the beggar's face, and sneered, "Look at this, money! How much do you want, huh? Beggar like you would be happy with just 10 taka, but I'll give you 1,000, on one condition." The beggar's chest filled with hope. Perhaps for a moment the beggar thought that this wealthy man had finally felt compassion. With a trembling voice he asked, "Sir, what is the condition?" A cruel sparkle lit up Arham's eyes. He opened the car door and spat onto the road. Then he said coldly, "See that spit I just dropped? Lick it. Do that. And this 1,000 will be yours." Hearing those words, the beggar's sunken eyes seemed to ignite. A shiver of humiliation and rage ran through his fragile body. He stared straight at Arham. There was no fear in his eyes. There was no greed. Only a fierce flame of self-respect burned within them. After a few silent moments, he spoke calmly but firmly. "Sir, I may be poor, but I have dignity. I do not need your money. May God bless you." With that, the beggar did not stay there even for another second. He slowly walked toward another car. Arham felt as if the sky had fallen on him, that a mere beggar had dared to reject his money and his insult. His body burned with rage and humiliation. He shouted at the driver, "Drive, and make sure I never see that beggar's face again in my life." The car sped past the signal, but the storm inside Aram did not calm down. The humiliation of losing to a simple beggar was something he could not accept. He had no idea that this small incident was enough to change the direction of his life forever. He had no understanding of how terrifying the judgment of nature can be. No one can say when the wheel of fate turns, and Aram Chowdhury could not either. From that day on, everything began to fall apart. At first, he did not take it seriously. He thought ups and downs were normal in business. But when one major loss after another started arriving, deep lines of worry appeared on his forehead. It began with the stock market. The shares into which he had invested millions suddenly started to collapse. Within a few weeks, half of his investment was wiped out. Arham thought it was temporary, but the situation kept getting worse day by day. Several of his most trusted business partners betrayed him. They leaked his company's confidential information to rival firms and secured their own profit. As a result, several major projects slipped out of his hands. The banks began to show their true colors. The same bank managers who once waited hours to meet him now refused to answer his calls. Pressure began to mount for loan repayments. Aram tried to sell his properties to stabilize the situation. But his reputation had deteriorated so badly that no one was willing to pay a fair price. Slowly, his luxurious lifestyle began to crumble. The same Arham who once spent hundreds of thousands in a single day now thought twice before making even the smallest expense. One by one, his luxury cars were sold. That massive house in Gulshan was about to be seized by the bank to cover his loans. In these dark days, Arham finally saw the true faces of the people around him. The friends who once partied on his money now avoided him whenever they saw him. Relatives began to keep their distance. Even his wife, Nafisa, could no longer endure this life. Daily shortages, Arham's constant irritation, and an uncertain future shattered her patience. One day, she took Aryan and left for her father's home. Before leaving, she said only one thing. When money was everything to you, then stay with that money. As a human being, you died long ago. Her words pierced Aram's chest like arrows. For the first time, he felt how truly alone he was. When he had mountains of money, everyone was with him. Now that he had none, no one remained. He realized he was bankrupt in love. He had chased money all his life, but failed to earn the real treasure, human love. Within a single year, Arham Chowdhury fell from the sky straight onto the ground. His company was declared bankrupt. His house, his cars, his bank balance, everything was gone. The man who was once the uncrowned king of Dhaka's corporate world was now nothing more than a street beggar. In place of expensive suits, he now wore dirty, torn clothes. His stomach burned with hunger, but his pockets held not a single coin. At first he asked familiar faces for help, but everyone turned him away. Humiliation, neglect, and pity. This was all he received. The hands that once signed checks worth millions now had to beg for help. The shame and humiliation made him want to disappear. But hunger burned stronger than pride. That fire forced him onto the streets. Arham began wandering aimlessly through Dhaka's crowded roads, the blazing sun above his head, the burning asphalt beneath his feet. Inside his stomach, the fire of hunger roared. He stared at the food kept in front of a shop, his mouth filled with saliva. But his pockets were empty, crushing shame, pride, and dignity. He stretched out his hand for the first time. "Brother, could you give me something to eat? I'm very hungry." The man looked him up and down and replied with disgust, "Can't you work and eat? You look strong enough. Get lost." Aram's face turned red with humiliation. He said nothing and walked away. But this was only the beginning. Every time he asked for help after that, he had to hear new kinds of humiliating words. He finally understood. The poor have no respect. Once he himself used to think the same way. Today he was paying the price for his own actions. Days passed without food as he wandered the streets. His body began to collapse. The strong, handsome Aram of the past was now unrecognizable. With messy hair, a rough, prickly beard, and deeply sunken eyes, he now wandered like a living ghost. At night, he slept on shop verandas or park benches. Mosquito bites and the cold became his constant companions. In the middle of this unbearable suffering, memories of his past began to haunt him. His pride, his arrogance, his cruelty. He remembered the old beggar he had once humiliated so brutally. Today he felt in his bones how painful humiliation truly is. Regret burned inside him. He kept thinking, if he could just meet that beggar one more time, he would fall at his feet and beg for forgiveness. One night, heavy rain poured down. Arham took shelter beneath an overbridge. His body shook in the cold. Fever burned through him. He felt as if he would not survive. He cried out, his voice blending with the sound of rain. "O Allah, I understand my mistakes now. Please forgive me. I cannot endure this anymore." Crying, he eventually fell asleep, without even realizing when. When Arham woke up in the morning, he found himself in an unfamiliar place. He was lying on an old but clean bed. A thick blanket covered his body. Beside him, on a small table, lay a glass of water and some medicine. The room had mud walls and a tin roof. In one corner, a clay stove burned gently, with a pot of rice cooking on top. The sweet aroma of rice made his starving stomach twist. He tried to sit up, but his body was too weak. At that moment, an elderly man entered the room. He had a long white beard, wore a white lungi and a simple Punjabi. A calm, gentle glow rested on his face. Aram gasped in shock. It was him, the same beggar, the man he had once humiliated so mercilessly. Aram lowered his head in shame and humiliation. Before he could speak, the old man came closer, placed a hand on his forehead, and said softly, "How are you feeling now, my son? It seems your fever has gone down a little." Hearing the word son, Arham could no longer hold back his tears. He burst into uncontrollable sobs. The old man looked at him in surprise. Through his tears, Arham said, "Do you recognize me? I am that wretched man who once..." Before he could finish, the old man gently placed a hand over his mouth and said, "Quiet, my son. Do not dig into the past. Humans make mistakes, and when one realizes them, he becomes a true human being." Hearing these words, Arham cried even harder. Holding the old man's hand, he said, "I beg your forgiveness. Please forgive me. I have been punished for my arrogance. I am now a street beggar." The elderly man, whose name was Rahim Sheikh, gently stroked Arham's head and said, "I forgave you that very day, my son, because I knew that one day you would understand your mistakes." Rahim Sheikh said gently, "Allah is very merciful. He gives people the chance to correct themselves." Hearing these words, a deep and peaceful calm descended into Aram's heart. He realized that this old man was poor only on the outside. Inside, his heart was overflowing with gold. From Rahim Sheikh, Aram learned that on the rainy night he had been rescued unconscious from beneath the overbridge and carried on Rahim Sheikh's frail shoulders to this small hut. Rahim Sheikh lived in a slum within the city. He survived on what he earned from begging. Yet he carried no regret, no complaint. He was content with very little. With Rahim Sheikh's care, Arham slowly recovered. Over the next few days, Arham closely observed his way of life. He saw how a man could remain joyful even in deep poverty. and still help others. From what Rahim Sheikh earned through begging, he distributed a portion to other hungry people in the slum. Witnessing this greatness, Arham's heart filled with reverence. He understood then. True wealth does not belong to the one who has the most money. True wealth belongs to the one who has the biggest heart. After recovering, Arham said, "Uncle, I do not want to return to my old life. I want to stay with you and spend the rest of my life here. I want to become a good human being like you." Rahim Sheikh smiled and replied, "You are already a good person, my son. Only your arrogance had blinded your eyes. Now the veil has been lifted. If you wish, you can do so much good." Arham began a new life beside Rahim Sheikh. He was no longer the millionaire Arham Chaudhry. Now he was simply a common man. He did not go out to beg with Rahim Sheikh. Instead, he searched for work. After many attempts, he found a job washing dishes at a restaurant. With the small income he earned through hard labor, he bought food and medicine for Rahim Sheikh. In his spare time, he taught the children of the slum. Using his business knowledge, he helped several unemployed youths start small businesses. There was no trace of arrogance left in his behavior or speech. Only humility, kindness, and love for people remained. One day, Arham's wife, Nafisa, and their son, Aryan, came to eat at that same restaurant. Seeing Arham washing dishes, they froze in shock. Tears welled up in Nafisa's eyes. Aryan ran forward and wrapped his arms around his father. Arham felt embarrassed at first, but within moments he gathered himself. He apologized to his wife and his son for all the mistakes of his past. Seeing this change, Nafisa was no longer surprised, because in her husband's eyes she could clearly see honesty and true remorse. She asked him to return home. Her father had also forgiven Arham and invited him to rejoin the business, but Arham refused. He said, "I no longer want to return to that world of money. I am happy here with these people. I have finally found the true meaning of my life." However, he promised his wife and his son that he would stay in touch and fulfill all his responsibilities toward them. Many years passed. Arham never became a millionaire again, but he became a truly happy man. He continued to live in that same slum with Rahim Sheikh. Together they built a small school and a charitable medical clinic for the people of the slum. Today, Arham's life story stands as an inspiration to many. The priceless lessons he learned after falling from the peak of pride transformed him into a true human being. He learned that money and wealth are temporary. What remains forever is human love, compassion, and self-respect. And that lesson is the greatest treasure of life. Friends, pride can bring a person crashing down from the sky to the ground. We should always remain free from arrogance. Never insult the poor and the simple. Help them whenever you can. If you enjoyed this story, please share it and subscribe to the channel to stay with us.